Greetings and welcome back to another Figure Order video. Today we're going to be talking about critical stars. And I know what you're probably thinking. I already know what critical stars are. They're the things that drop when I use my quick cards, and every once in a while I get a nice big crit that either fills up my MP gush by a lot, or just sort of basically another ton of critical stars. And you are correct, that is essentially the basics of critical stars. However, there's something that the game does that it doesn't tell us at all. And that is that every single servant in the game has an individual star weight. And what we mean by that is that every servant has a certain percentage chance of getting, well, essentially grabbing each individual critical star. And unfortunately, this varies by class generally, and then by each individual servant. As I'm going to be showing you right now, the essentially comes down to this. So as you can see, riders and archers have essentially the highest percentage of acquiring a critical star, with riders having essentially at least 50 more than any other class in the game, and among them, Queen Meb has, I believe, 205% chance. So in essence, riders are the ones that will more than likely gather as much as a critical stars as you generate, essentially. After that will usually come archers, who may not be as strong, but generally can deal a little bit more damage than riders, just based on the raw stats of the game. And after that, we come to the standards, which is saber assassins, rulers, lancers, and then it keeps going down all the way from there until we get to berserkers, which unfortunately only have 10. Which will definitely explain why when you're running around with your berserker, they generally get 0 stars. Now, you might think this is basically unfair. However, if you think about when you're creating a team on critical stars, it can actually be very, well, advantageous. So why don't we actually go in and start making a team from scratch, using all the knowledge that we have. So when we first start creating a team, generally what we would do is we go in and we just grab whatever servants we have that rely on quick cards. So in this case, let's see, no, let's not go by bond level, let's go with rarity. So let's see, what free servants can we find that can actually benefit us? Here we go. Kentucky Rider is definitely a good one. Not only is he a rider that we now know has the highest chance to gather stars, but he also has a 3 quick card deck, so that's definitely good. Let's see, who else do we have? Let's see, unfortunately, Ultra Santa Alter is a rider, but unfortunately, because her deck only has 1 quick card, she's not particularly good at generating critical stars. So she isn't really that good at that. Now, if we go down to, let's see, what do we have in the 3 stars? Here we go, an archer. Let's see, I do believe Billy the Kid does have a triple quick deck. No, it's only 2, but it's not too bad. Now, where is our favorite little loyal samurai, Ushiwa Kamaru? Here you are. What about you? What do you have? Also 2. Okay, so it's not that good, but they are definitely decent. So a standard quick, well, hold me a second, let's move that out of the way. Line up, there you go, out of the way, yes. Click here, and let's put in, where are you? Where did you go? Am I blind? Oh, there it is, and quick. So that is generally what you would do when you were building a team based around critical stars. However, because we now know that basically archers and riders have the highest, weight in the game, as it's called, having more than 1 rider or archer on the front line for using the critical stars is generally disadvantageous, because it means the stars are going to be split amongst all of them. So a team like this, while it can't generate a lot of critical stars, unless they're incredibly powerful at generating stars like Jack, you generally will not make enough critical stars or have enough damage with it in order to make it worth it. So instead, let's create a team based around this little concept that I found online that's called a user, a generator, and a manipulator. So as the name states, the user is the one that we want to use all the critical stars. So by this, we want it to be either a rider or an archer. And luckily, there are 3 servants in the game that can benefit greatly from this. And those are, as we just witnessed down here, the first is Sakara Kintoki Rider. So he has the highest innate star weight as a class as rider. And not only that, but he also has a double quick and arts deck, so he's not too bad. And his no phantasm is also a quick one. So he's definitely a good choice. Now, but what other options do we have? Well, let's see, where are you? Aha, here they are. The 2 best 4-star archers in the game are also very good choices. Not only do they have decent weight, but if we look at Nobunaga's 3rd skill here, increases C-star gather rate and critical strength. That means every time she lands a critical, it deals increased damage and does all the extra stuff we want it to do. And what about Chloe? Well, Chloe is not based on using critical stars for damage, but instead, because of her double arts and double quake deck, she is particularly good at filling up her MP bar. So giving her a lot of critical stars would definitely benefit her in spamming her Noble Phantasm over and over and over again. So these are definitely three very solid choices in who we're going to add. So let's for now stick with the rider that we know works very well. Now, that he's going to be our user. Now we are looking for someone that is very good at generating critical stars. So for that, we want someone with 3 arts cards in their decks that isn't a rider or an archer. Now, amongst all the servants that I currently have, I think X-Alter has also... No, she only has 2. So now, the best one in the game so far, and I think nobody beats her even in Japan, is Jack the Ripper. That is because not only does she have a triple quick deck, her quick cards also hit 5 times. That means every single one of those 5 hits from each of her attacks has a chance of dropping critical stars. And I think assassins have the highest chance to create a critical star in the game, I think. But anyway, what makes her really powerful is the fact that all her quick cards generate a ton of critical stars. Not only that, but she can also use them herself in order to land criticals with her own quick cards and generate even more stars for next turn, essentially creating an infinite critical turn, basically, as soon as you start getting them. Now, none of her skills are particularly good at generating critical stars, unfortunately, but being the best generator in the game means you want to bring her along. Now, if you don't have a Jack the Ripper yourself, you can always grab her from your support list. I always have her on my friend list, so I'll put my little friend code on the bottom on the description. And lastly, we are down to the most complex role to fill, and that is the manipulator. Now, for this, you would generally look for one of 2 things. Either A, somebody that is either a berserker preferably, or an avenger because they have the lowest critical weight in the game. Preferably a berserker. That way they never take critical stars away from our rider or even our generator. Or somebody that has an innate skill that allows you to either give somebody critical stars or take away critical stars from another member, essentially making them not gather any. Now, we could bring in pretty much anything we want here. We could even bring, say, a Gene Alter, if we so wanted. Because although she only has a 30 weight, she does come with the skill that increases her gather rate, and you can because she also has a innate MP generation per turn in her kit, she doesn't rely on dealing damage or attacking to fill it up, but it is a little helpful. Now, out of all those things that I mentioned, either Avenger or Berserker and somebody with a skill that can manipulate them, there's only one servant in the game that I know that fills both of those roles, and that is X-Alter. Not only is she a Berserker, meaning she generally never gets any critical stars, but her 3rd skill decreases C-star gather rate 1 turn for 1 ally. Now, that doesn't really tell us much, does it? So why don't we go over to the wiki, and that way I can read you exactly what that little skill does, because it is extremely, particularly powerful in this very specific scenario that we are working with. So, Sovereign's Invisible Hand C reduces one ally's critical star absorption by 100% for 1 turn. Not only that, but also increases party's attack by 10 to 20%. So that means, because it's a percent and not a number, that means whoever you cast that on will have their innate critical star weight reduced to 0. So, using this in this team we've created right now, let's say if she's not on the field, well, if she does drop onto the field with one of her cards, she generally will not get any stars. However, if she is not on the field and it's only between Kidoki and Jack, and you have a chance to use 3 cards from either of them, you use her skill on the one that only has 2 cards on the field, and that basically guarantees that the other servant will get all the critical stars up to the maximum of 10 per card, obviously. So this team we've created right here is essentially a very good starting point for our critical team. However, we are not done yet, because we're also missing craft sentences. So to this point, what is the best craft sentence that we can use for each role that we are designating? Well, in the case of our user, so we want either the general increase in their main card. So in Kitaki's case, we want to give him something that increases his quick card performance. And for that, there is obviously only one choice, and that is Imaginary Around. Increases quick card effectiveness by 25%. That effectiveness doesn't just mean damage, it also means critical star generation and MP generation, the thing he uses the most in off his quick cards. So that is without a doubt the best thing you can give him. Now something else you can give him if you don't have an imaginary around, because it is a 5-star. Let's see, is the one called, let's see, it is a 4-star. Where are you? I know I have at least one copy of this one. No, not that one, no. Aha! You! Increase your C-star gather rate by 600%. So basically, because Kintoki is a writer, he has a quote-unquote innate star weight of 200. Multiply that by 6 times, and now it is 1,200% chance of him getting a critical star. So essentially making it so that he always gets some critical stars. So those are two very good options for him. Now, because I do have the quick card up of Imaginary around, we're going to go with that one, obviously, because it's best for him. Now, for Jack, there aren't that many actual craft sentences that are good at generating critical stars. Now, the only one that stands out is another 4-star that many of us consider generally useless, unless you're using them specifically for this purpose. Now, where are you, Mr. Tosaka? Where are you? Come on, I know. Aha, there you are, Mr. Be Elegant. Increase your C-star drop rate by 30% at max level, or at 25% at standard level. Now, because Jack already has a very high critical star drop rate, giving this on her means he's going to be dropping 2 or 3 more stars per attack. So that essentially means we are very close to having 50 critical stars on almost every turn. So that is definitely not bad at all, is it? Now, if you don't have that one, there is another time-limited essence that you should have. Here we go. Increase MP strength 9 point and C-star drop rate by 20% because it's maxed out. This is also not too bad at all. And it also starts better with MP charge at 40%. This is the one from Journey to the West. If you don't have this one, you will get another chance, I believe, later this year during the rerun event. Now, when you first look at it, when it first came out, we didn't think it was that particularly good. However, increased MP strength and increased MP charge at 40% at the start of battle is definitely good for Jack on herself, because her increased MP strength increases the special effect of a Noble Phantasm. In Jack's case, it increases the damage he deals to female characters, and this extra 20% on top of that means it's even stronger, so she can definitely deal some very good damage. But this team, we are going for the C-star drop rate 20% because it's maxed out. So this is definitely not a bad one, considering it's only 5% extra from the standard Be Elegant one, or 10% less from the Limit Broken Be Elegant. But this one gives us a little bit more of everything, so this one is definitely good. Now, on our manipulator, there really isn't that much that I can think of that we can give her. However, there is 1 or 2 that might be relatively useful. And that is the one that we got a long time ago. Aha, this one. Gain 20 C stars when entering the battle once. Now, usually this really isn't particularly good. However, imagine this, it's the very first turn and you have 0 critical stars. But because of RNG, Kintoki is now ready to rock with his 3 quick cards right there on the, being ready. But you have no critical stars to give him. With this, you now essentially have 20 to give him, and that's 2 cards at least. If you use all the skills that we have on our servants, and assuming X-Alter, a little Berserker, there isn't on the field, that means she can use her skill on Jack to make sure Jack doesn't get any stars, ensuring that Kintoki gets all 20 critical stars. So this is definite right here, is a very decent critical base team. Now, this team is obviously based on what you have. If you start relatively recently, you definitely won't have Jack. She is rather limited. X-Alter is also very limited, unfortunately. So let's see, who can we add on there that can help be a manipulator? Now, unfortunately, I don't think there are actually that many useful servants in this role outside of X-Alter. Oh yeah, and let's take away from writers. Let's see, where are Berserkers? Let's see. Ibaraki, do you have anything useful to be as a manipulator? Let's see, more demonic, disease. Nope, not really. What about Fran? What about you? Do you have anything useful? Chance, decrease MP strength, the RMP gain. Nope. Tamamo Cat, anything on you? Oh, hold on. No, no, and no. Now, Lancelot Berserker version. He might be useful here. Increases your C-star gather rate that we don't want him to get. Actually, that's not too bad if it's a turn with only him left. C-Star drop rate, that is definitely good. Now, I don't think any of his attacks have any large amount of hits, unfortunately. That's one of the reasons why Jack is so amazing at generating critical stars. The fact that all 4 quick cards hit 5 times is absolutely crazy. But let's see, no. Her quick cards only hit twice, so it really isn't that good. Now, his last skill there, increase 1 MP generation, increase of critical damage, yeah. So as a manipulator, he really isn't that good, but because he is a berserker, just by being there, it basically ensures that everybody else whose cards show up are going to get the critical stars instead of him. Heracles, I don't think we need to go into him at all. He has nothing to manipulate critical stars with. Let's see, what about our 3 stars? Any one of the 3 stars that can actually help us manipulate? Let's see, berserkers. Oh, hold on, does Lubu have something? I think he might have. MP strength and C-star gather rate, okay. Now, as a manipulator, he doesn't have everything to help anybody else. However, if for some reason he ends up with 3 cards on the field, or you are able to launch his Noble Phantasm along with 2 Buster cards, using his first and third ability maxed out like I have him there, basically ensures that A, he will get all the critical stars because the Chaotic Villain, I do believe, increases his C-star gather rate by an absolutely ridiculous amount. Let's see, Mr. Lubu, where are you? Let's see, 3rd skill. Oh yeah, it increases his own critical star absorption by 3,000. Yeah, so basically if you use that, he is guaranteed to basically gather every single critical star on the field. So yeah, as a manipulator, he may not be good, but as a secondary damage dealer, he's definitely decent. Now, let's take a look at everybody's favorite Avenger and see how she can work on this team. Let's see, Mrs. Jean Alter, what do you have to bring onto this team? Let's see, here we go, increases own critical absorption for 1 turn. Now, this is her first skill. It is relatively powerful, 400 to 800%, that's not too bad, but it also increases her critical damage by 50%. It's only damage though, it's not the same as effectiveness. In this case, she will not generate extra stars or generate extra NP charge from her criticals, she will only increase her damage. Now let's see, her 2nd skill, nope, not useful. 3rd skill, and no, not useful. So in this case, you can have her as a secondary damage dealer and use that 1st skill if you want to deal some damage with her, if you get lucky enough. But as it stands, this is essentially the best team that I could think of with the cards that I have available to me in order to create a critical-based team. Now, granted, I am using 2 5-stars, and that's a little bit of cheating here, so let's see if we can find something more balanced that everybody can make, shall we? Let's see, who has 3 quick cards here? Oshimakomar only has 2 of them. Hold on, let's take a look at our assassins here. What about Serenity? What do you have? She has... Okay, that's not too bad. 2 quick, 2 arts. Okay, let's take a look at 100 personas. Let's see, what about you? Go up. Let's see, increase MP gain for yourself. And C-star drop rate. Okay, that's good. She can help with generation. Let's see, 2 arts, 2 quick. Okay, she can be a decent okay one. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh, Jinke. Let's see, what can you do? C-star increases quick card effectiveness. Okay, that means she can increase her own C-star drop rate. Increase her C-star drop rate as well. Okay, on her 2nd skill. Oh, and increase C-star gather rate and gain a large amount of critical stars. Okay, so even if she's not on the field, you can create critical stars for somebody else. If she is on the field, you can increase her quick card effectiveness, which increases critical star generation, and increases your C-star drop rate. And aha, okay, here we go. Here is our budget star generator. 3 quick cards and skills that increase that as well. Okay, so let's go with Jinke here. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay, so she is our backup generator. Now, what about our backup manipulator? What do we have? What can we find over in our 4-star servants to help? What about you, Atlanta? What do you have? Quick card effectiveness. Okay, increase C-star gathering. That's not exactly what we're looking for. Okay, she's okay. Let's see, who else can we find that can increase our C-star manipulation? Helena doesn't have anything. Oh, hold on. Let's take a look at Skathek and Ryogishiki here. Target focus, restore implements. Okay, nothing good there, unfortunately. Let's see. Rogi Shiki then. Let's see. Ignore Invincible, apply evade, MP Gotch. Okay, not really that useful either. Steno, I think, is based on arts. I think. I don't know. I don't think I've ever used her. Yeah, she's more on male crowd control, but she does have 3 quick cards. Now, unfortunately, I think those quick cards are very low amounts of hits. Let's see. Assassin. Steno, where are you? There you are. Let's see. Yeah, they only have 2 hits on them, unfortunately. So when it comes to star generation, Jack the Ripper is by far the best that we can find, but we're looking for alternatives here. Okay, let's see. 3-star. No, we're a manipulator. What do you have, Mr. Babbage? I don't think I've ever used you at all. Yeah, it doesn't look like he has anything useful. Let's see. What about you, Mr. Huchuling Caster? Do you have anything for us? Increase critical strength and debuff resistance for yourself. Remove debuffs, restore HP, apply evade, and increase defense. Not really that useful. I'm not seeing anything particularly useful as a manipulator in the lower tiers. Oh, hold on. What about you? What can you do for us? Evade and critical strength, remove mental debuffs, and gain a great amount of critical stars. Apply sure hit and increase the star drop rate. Okay. And, okay, another generator. So, because we are lacking essentially any actual servant that can have a manipulation skill on it, by taking along an assassin that does not have the highest MP absorption in the game, yeah, they're only at 100 compared to the 200 of Kintoki there, but because he also does have 3 quick cards in his deck, that means we can use him for bonus star generation. And he also has his 3rd skill, which increases C-star drop rate, which is not too bad. Unfortunately, he is a 1-star servant, which is kind of sad. But let's see, what can you do, Mr. Sasaki Kojiro? Let's see, 2 hits on his quick cards, 2 hits on his arts cards. Okay, so it's not too bad. If you don't have any other options, you could do a lot worse than bringing him along. But this is actually an extreme budget version of for a critical team. Now, because he has 3 quick cards, we obviously benefit from giving him another imaginary round. And the same thing for Jinke here. Let's see. No, go back up, go back up, go back up. Where are you? Go back up. Or is it down? I should have at least one more. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this team is an extreme budget team, not counting the craft essences, unfortunately, but hopefully you have at least one of them. And this is basically a pretty nice team. I'm actually very curious to try this team against something that is decent. Unfortunately, because you want to use riders against casters, and casters are very strong against assassins, yeah, it's not that particularly good. But using them against anything else is probably not too bad. Now, what other options do we have for this? Now, as always, we have Journey to the West, which is C-Star Dropper, which is what we're looking for. And what other options do we have? Well, in this case, let's see, gain 20 stars at the beginning of each turn. So that is a more budget-friendly team right there. Now, if you're like me and you use your back row, your sub-members just as bond gaining and carrying support instances, and that's why I'm only using our first 3 slots here. So yeah, critical stars, they're easy to use, but definitely because the game doesn't actually tell you about the innate critical star weight of each individual servant. As you can see, if we go into their profiles here, nowhere in there does it say about their critical star absorption anywhere at all. So it's bond level 2, bond level 3. So yeah, there's nothing in there as well. Status, nothing there as well. Nothing about it. So yeah, learning to truly manipulate critical stars is actually pretty difficult. So I am actually going to go in and try my Ultra OP team this way. So yeah, actually no, we want to be elegant on Jack. Where are you, Mr. Be Elegant? No, 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 not you, not you. Did we go past you already? Hopefully not. No, here you are, Be Elegant. So I'm going to go over into some daily quests and try out this team and see what happens. So, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
オーケーで決めるぜ。そんじゃかっ飛ばそうか。ベアハウリングゴールデンドライグッラセイロケンロー。
わあ、お腹。
オーケークールベアナックルだ。そんじゃかっ飛ばそうか。ベアハウリングゴールデンドライ